What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got King J Rock, we got ADAZ, we got Vin, we got Michael, we got Miguel, Freddie. What's up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing on this fantastic Thursday where we actually got a Thursday night football game here today, ladies and gentlemen? We're not going to be talking about that, but football is here, and that means that we are 3 days away from Sunday football, which the Cardinals are going to be in that first slot. So I'm excited to watch some Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. I get it. These last 2 weeks haven't been very, very much hyped up, right? Because you got some Cardinal fans that don't really feel too excited because some people feel like we blew it, right? We blew the opportunity for the NFC West, but mathematically it ain't over, ladies and gentlemen. Mathematically is not over. But let me just do a real quick shout out to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. For everybody here in the YouTube chat, appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button on your way in. We got 30 people in here right now with 7 likes. Like, what is going on, man? Smack up that like button. Do it for the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen, while I do my, obviously, shout out to the guys that are helping keeping the lights on in the AZ Sports Fan studio. That's going to be none other than BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sportsbook, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, another milestone here for the Arizona Cardinals. We have hits 16K. I didn't even know we did it. Literally happened last night, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? Okay, well, here we go. We're at 16K subscribers. Appreciate every single one of you guys for being rocking with me since 2019 when I started this channel, and it was an absolute hobby. It was an absolute hobby, so I appreciate you guys for obviously, rocking with me. For the people that I lost on the wayside, I apologize. Hopefully one day you can manage to come back, and hopefully you like the content again. If not, no worries. But I appreciate everybody, you guys, here for rocking with me. We're going to have a good, fun-filled show for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit Cardinals versus Carolina Panthers, and then we're also going to be diving into the latest press conference here from Kyler Murray. And, of course, we're going to be mainly focusing on Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., because that's always a topic. It's always a topic to talk about. So we're going to be talking about what his thoughts are in terms of why the explosives aren't there, and we're heading into week 16 of the NFL season, as well as just kind of, I think, a clip or two about what he was asked in the press conference as well. So a lot to dive into today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's first start off with the Carolina Panthers, shall we? I think right now we are all kind of in a situation where, you either are a fan that truly believes that this team can go 3-0, right? And I mean, you beat the Carolina Panthers, you hopefully beat the Rams, and then you take care of business against the 49ers, right? You're either one of those fans that truly, truly feel like it, or you're a fan that doesn't feel like the Cardinals deserve it, right? Like they could do it, but they don't deserve it because they're going to get booted out, once they hit the playoffs. Or you're a fan that doesn't think that they're not going to do anything. Like they're going to go 0-3 or they're going to go 1-2, and this is going to be an absolute disaster. They failed, right? Regardless of who you are, right? I think we can all agree that the Carolina Panthers, on this 3-game stretch that we have to end the 2024 season, this should be seen as a win, right? It should be seen as a win. Now, granted, right? I know we've been in this boat before where we get a little too ahead of ourselves as Cardinal fans, and boom, there goes humble pie, right? There goes humble pie right there. And it doesn't seem like the Arizona Cardinals are, should be on the same field as that opposing team. Like, I know history tells us that we shouldn't be confident, right? But, like, being honest here, we should beat the Carolina Panthers, right?
Okay.
Right? We should. Right? We should. If you look at the Carolina Panthers in a nutshell, right? Just their depth chart. Just looking at their chart or their depth chart compared to ours, it's night and day different, right? Now, you do see the Carolina Panthers and they're a 3-win team. Now, they're a scrappy 3-win team, right? They're a scrappy 3-win team. That's the truth. I'm not going to come out here and say the Cardinals are going to go to Carolina and absolutely obliterate them. No, I'm not going to say it. This might be a 3-point game. This might be a touchdown game. Like, this might be a closer game than most people want to maybe acknowledge or anticipate that it might be. It just very well might be. Now, will that make you mad? Will that get you excited? I don't care, right? The Cardinals need to take care of business to even start to talk about playoffs, right? This is the first game that's going to get away or get in the way of anything. Because if you lose this game, playoffs are done, right? The playoffs are done. Like, you're not even sniffing in the next 2 weeks, right? Unless there's a complete meltdown that happens with the Rams and the Seahawks, right? That's probably not going to happen. But unless that happens, it's probably much cooked for the Cardinals, right? This is a team that you look at on your schedule and say, hey, we got to go out here and get this W. We got to go out here and get this W, right? Let's take a look at the Carolina Panthers depth chart, shall we? Let's take a look at their depth chart because, like I said, on paper, you should beat these guys. You really should. Now, I want to give some love to a few of their players because they got some players over there, right? They really do. Starting off with their running back, Chuba Hubbard. He started off, I believe it was last year, right? Last year he was a rookie? No, actually, he was a rookie in 2021. Oh, wow, actually, so I guess he's more of a veteran than I thought he was. But he's having a fantastic year this year. Fantastic. He got paid, he got an extension, he's happy, and he's producing. He's doing a really, really good job. Their running game is nothing to sneeze at. I'm worried about their running game because the Cardinals can be a little, bad when it comes down to stopping the run. So Chuba Hubbard is really, really good. Adam Thielen, no matter how old he is, right? 34 years old per ESPN on this page. He's really kind of started to kind of get going in his latest or this last part, like 3 or 4 games, right? He's starting to kind of show up being that veteran, dependable wide receiver that we all knew and fell in love with in Minnesota, right? After that, there's a lot of people that we really don't know too much about. Does anybody remember him? Is it Shasina? I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Former Arizona Cardinal. Former Arizona Cardinal. Now, granted, he's not a starter for them. He might be, especially because you're seeing Xavier Legette being doubtful for this game. But you see this team, and you really got to take advantage of the situation that's put in front of you, right? Jadeveon Clowney listed as questionable. Right now, we don't know the status of what he looks like here today, but still questionable. Defensively, I mean, they got some pieces that I like. I like J.C. Horn coming out of the draft. He hasn't been as great as I thought he was going to be in terms of, kind of like a Christian Gonzalez. Not like that, but he's still really young. He's still got a lot of promise, right? So defensively, they got some weapons here and there. But like if you compare this roster to the Arizona Cardinals roster, there's a difference, right? There's a difference as to why the Cardinals are in the situation that they are in at 7-7 compared to this 3-win team, right? They still have a lot of questions on their franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. Still got a lot of questions over there, right? Now, I know you could also say the same thing for the Cardinals here, but the situation is the situation. We're 7-7, right? I don't know if the Cardinals are going to make any move. I don't think they should personally because there's really nothing else better. At this very moment, the Cardinals are going to be in no position to even draft a QB, so I'm not even thinking quarterback. My main thought is, I need you to get better, Kyler. I need these explosives to get better. Like that's my main process right now. Get better. Get the explosives better, right? QB1 for 2025 is most likely going to be K1, right? Most likely. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't get a backup QB. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but that's where I'm at with the QB1 situation, right? So on paper, the Cardinals should beat this team. Like seriously, they should, right? Now let's take a look at the defensive rankings here for the Carolina Panthers, shall we? Right now, with where they're standing at, as a total defense, the Carolina Panthers are sitting at the number 31 spot per Fox Sports. They give up 386.2 yards a game. 386.2 yards in average a game. They're ranked number 31 for the pass defense. They're ranked number 12, which is actually, that's not bad. That's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So passing defense, they look to be pretty good. Rushing defense, oh, they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom. They're ranked number 32 right now. So you're going to come out here and tell me we better tote that rock with James Conner. He's going to eat. He's got to eat. This man is going to eat, hopefully, against this defense, right? They're ranked number 32 right now. They average giving up about 173 yards on the ground. And look at the difference between number 31, which is the Giants, and 32, which is the Panthers. Look at the difference. Look at the difference there, ladies and gentlemen. 143.7 to 173 yards average. The difference between number 31 team and the number 32 team. That's crazy. That's wild. And then they allowed 19 rushing touchdowns too, just for what it's worth. Scoring touchdown, dead last. Red zone defense, number 26. Third down efficiency. Third down defense. I apologize. Dead last. On paper, statistically, not a great team, right? Let's take a look at the offensive side of the ball, right? Offensively, total, they're sitting at the number 31 spot, averaging about 288.9 yards a game. That's probably, that's rushing and passing. Let's take a look at the passing. They're number 29, averaging about 186 a game. That's crazy. Rushing, 24. That's very surprising to me, especially because Chuba Hubbard is actually a lot better than it did. That's crazy to me. But still, we're talking about a bottom rank offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball team that we have coming to us, right? And the reason why we're looking at this is because there was a question asked to Kyler Murray, and we're going to be diving into that a little later on, about this potentially being a trap game for the Cardinals, right? And I'm going to get my own views and the way that I, interpreted this question, and I felt like it was a valid question. And of course, Kyler Murray laughed it off, but of course, maybe the question wasn't understood, right? So this team right here on paper, the Cardinals should beat, right? Should beat. And the reason why I say should is because we know, Cardinal fans, we know the song and dance already, right? We've lived it. Every single year, it almost kind of feels like there's definitely something that brings us back to reality. I hope it's not this game. I really hope it's not. Because the Cardinals right now have the opportunity to be an 8-win team. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, if they don't win this game, they're not going to be an 8-win team. It's over. No, I mean, they could potentially still beat the 49ers. They could potentially still beat the Rams. Is it less likely? Yeah, less likely, because this is the last team right here that you should beat. And I'm not trying to disrespect the Carolina Panthers, but the state on where they are at right now, they are nowhere near close to where the Cardinals are at in year 2 compared to Bryce Young in his year 2, right? It's unfortunate. It is. Because you would expect an organization to rally among your young quarterback, right? And if you ask yourself, well, our year 2 is different than their year 2. Yeah, you're 100% right. You are. But let's think about it when Kyler Murray was year 2, right? In 2020. Didn't Steve Kye make all these moves to make us better, right? We were an 8-win team, I believe. Yeah, we went from 5.5 wins to 8 wins from Cliff Kingsbury, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 100%. This is night and day. Right now, it's night and day. Compared our year 2 to their year 2. And then back in 2020, with Kyler Murray was in year 2. It's unfortunate because Bryce Young is not really given every opportunity to succeed. This is the epitome of how do you evaluate a quarterback when he hasn't given the actual proper weapons. This is the perfect example right here. Right here's a perfect example. Now, there's people out there that they don't know what they're going to do with Bryce. They don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to move off? Are they going to stay with him? Or are they going to try to build around him? They don't know. But the number one most important thing right now that we got going for us is that it's not our business. It's not our concern, right? We got good things going for us. we are a 7-win team with the potentially to be an 8-win team, right? You go 1-0 from here on out, you got a real chance to win the division. You go 1-0 from here on out, you got a real chance to potentially hit the playoffs in year 2 of Jonathan Gannon, right? And remember this, ladies and gentlemen, turn back the time, turn back the clocks. We had a chance, too, in year 2 of Cliff Kingsbury. We had a chance in year 2 of Cliff Kingsbury to get into the playoffs. We had it. The last 2 games, we couldn't get the job done. And I believe it was we lost to the Rams and we lost to the 49ers. And I think both of them had backup QBs for what it's worth. So I'm not trying to give bad deja vu. I'm just trying to bring you guys history, right? Trying to bring you guys. Let's see if we can correct the wrongs. Let's see if we can learn from the past history and hopefully see if the Cardinals can actually finish the season off strong. And I'm not saying 8 wins isn't strong, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Because that will be a deciding factor as to, are you excited about 2024? Or are you, I'm sorry, not 2024, 2025? Or are you excited about 2025? Big difference, right? Same word, used differently, right? The Carolina Panthers are a scrappy team, and they've shown that they're a scrappy team within the last 3 or 4 weeks since Bryce Young came back, since he got benched and he came back. They've been a scrappy team. He's shown promise. He's shown potential. He's shown really good throws here and there. But they can't get over the hump. They're still a 3-win team at the end of the day. The Cardinals need to win this game. Keep hope alive. Keep faith within this organization. Don't allow it to break like we were broken about 3 weeks ago. Because some people didn't even believe that we can beat the Patriots. That's how bad it was. That's how hope was lost. If you don't believe me, rewatch the game and look at the stadium. It wasn't very full. It wasn't very full. There was a lot of Patriots fans there, and a lot of Cardinals fans weren't there. Now, I'm not saying spend your hard-earned money, but it just kind of goes to show that the fan base is either all in or not. Unfortunately, that's just the way the fan base is, right? Nothing I can do about it. But here's an opportunity again to take the next step. Get 8 wins under your belt. And let's see what the Arizona Cardinals can do here moving forward with the remaining of the 2024 season. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm not excited that we have to go to the East Coast. I'm not excited that we're not playing in a dome. But you play who's on your schedule, right? You play who's on your schedule. we got my guy Bass in this. Cam Newton's going to show up for one day signing and beat us against Carolina. Don't say it. Don't say it to me. Don't say it.
Emotional damage.
Cam Newton had a way with us, man. We could have not have gone through. Cam Newton could have signed a one-day contract and potentially could have been. It happens all the time. I don't know what it is. And we were the team, man. We were the team where he yelled to the camera, "I'm back." He wasn't back. We just were terrible. We just couldn't beat him. Who remembers that? Who remembers that? Yeah, I remember that very, very vividly, unfortunately. He was back against us. Now, the latest game that we played against the Panthers, we beat them. We finally got over the hump. But before that, the Carolina Panthers has beaten us like 4 or 5 straight. Like, it's wild. It's wild. It's wild. The Carolina Panthers have had our number. And it's funny because every time I talk about this team, everybody says the same thing. There's at least 1 or 2 comments on there saying, yes, but it's the Panthers, right? Yes, we can beat this team. We should beat this team, but yes, it's the Panthers. And I'm right there with you, right? I have it deep down in me as well. I have it ingrained in my mind as well that usually when you see the Carolina Panthers on your schedule, even if you're a better team than them, usually there's a team out there that has your number. And unfortunately, they're that team. You want to get rid of that narrative? Beat them 2 in a row. Here's an opportunity. You got a team that's a 3-win team versus our 7-win team. You got to win it. You got to. You got to. You got to. So, I have faith. I'm putting all my positive energy into this team this weekend. We will be doing another live play-by-play. Obviously, the sickness is gone. I no longer have the flu. So, we're back. we're back into getting this ship up corrected. Now, we're going to be diving into the Kyler Murray's latest press conference. We're going to be diving into that here right now. So let's go and get started here. So, of course, let's move on over topics and talk about Kyler Murray on Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Now, the reason why we keep talking about this over and over again is because the media always asks, and they should ask, right? And I'm not saying, oh, you're beating a dead horse. No, because it's a question that should be asked. It should be asked to Marvin. It should be asked to Kyler. It should be asked to Betsing, right? So we have a couple clips here that we're going to be diving into. I want you to react to it. I want me to react to it together, and we're going to hopefully finish off this podcast here with such, right? So let's first start off here with the media ended up asking, Kyler Murray about, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray and what do they do, right? Let me let them explain it first because it's kind of a confusing question, but I get it. But let's play it. Roll it.
Yeah. The last thing I'm gonna do is not go to him. I told you week one I'm not gonna lose confidence.
Has he come to you and said, this is what I like? Or have you got to say, this is what I think we should do with you? Or is that just kind of something that Drew does?
No, we're not drawing up the play. What do you mean? What are you asking?
Does he?
No, we have conversations all the time just about football in general. I mean, he loves the game. We watch football, all the time. So, yeah, we talk.
Yeah, we talk. No, but here's the thing, right? This is a perfect example of I don't know if the question was asked correctly because it almost kind of seems like it's the same for Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon as well. Like if you're not asking a very specific question, like very specifically, now even then, if you do that, sometimes you don't get a straight shot answer anyways, right? So like sometimes it's even, do you even waste your time to ask a very specific question? That's up to you, right? But the question, I get where they were coming from, right? Like, do you what the media member is asking is, do you guys sit together, right? Not specifically, like, obviously you're not drawing up plays, right? Obviously, right? That's not your guys' job. The job of that is Drew Petzing, right? But the question was, do you guys sit together and say, hey, what is your favorite play? Or what do you like doing? And I'm not going to lie to you. Wasn't it like 3 or 4 weeks ago? Didn't we hear that that's what they did? Like, they went to the locker room or they went into like a film room and then they talked, right? Like, what happened to that? What happened to that? Did that just stop? It was just a one-time thing and it was just like over at that point? But like, that's what it was really asking, right? Like, are you guys doing that every single day, right? Because you can, in shorts, throw the ball and get all these reps down and do a play, but you can't simulate. And this is one of the main things as to why everybody was harping on the fact as to like, why were we playing these guys in preseason? Now, granted, it probably wouldn't even matter, right? Like right now, like if we haven't figured it out now, we're heading into week 16, preseason wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't have mattered at all. But that was why that was a big storyline week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, because it's like, it's obviously that the connection is not there, right? But the question, a little confusing, and I think Kyler obviously didn't quite 100% get it either, but do you guys sit down and try to figure out why, right? But here's also the thing on the other side of the coin. Even if they sit down and try to figure out why, you got two different people going on two different speeds, right? Obviously, Marvin going on a route, Kyler Murray dropping back, trying not to get his head ripped off, right? Different things are going on in different, like in their minds. Now, can they get to with each other and say, hey, if this happens, you do this, right? Or if you see me roll out to the right, cut out your route, go deep, or cut it in and go to the sideline, right? That's more of the question that should have been asked, right? Like the details that go along with it, right? Because obviously they talk football, right? Like they're bros, they're teammates, right? They're teammates. Of course they're going to talk football, right? But the main question should have been addressed as, when a play breaks down, what do you expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to do? Has a conversation been had about that, right? Has a conversation been had about that? If a play breaks down, what do you, as the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, want your wide receiver one to do? Right? Now, obviously, it depends on a specific defense. If you're looking at a too high safety, if you're looking at a man defense, right? Obviously, it depends, right? But those are the little details that go along as to why great quarterbacks are great quarterbacks, right? Or the great quarterbacks that have that great wide receiver. That's the difference between them and kind of what we're seeing with this offense, right? I don't think that communication is there. I don't think that that fine detail communication is down, right? Because I get it. A lot of people are coming your way, right? A lot to process in that very specific moment, but it almost kind of seems like they do. They do need to sit down. They do need to sit down and say, okay, if I'm being pressured and I'm rolling out to my right or my left, and if it's man coverage, I want you to do this, right? Or if it's this and you're running a go right route and I'm in pressure, back shoulder fade, right? Get ready. It's coming, right? Like those are the type of stuff that I need them to understand and to know and to figure out if this is not working, then this has got to work, right? And, and s- and now still to the day we're going into week 14 and it's still not fixed. Like that's the frustration that Cardinal fans are feeling right now, right? That's the frustration. So I hope that makes more sense. I thought it was a very good question, personally. It just wasn't asked specifically the right way, in my personal opinion. Now, let's talk about this question here real quick. We had a media member ended up asking, do you think this is going to be a trap game for the Cardinals? Or can this be a potential trap game for the Arizona Cardinals? And Kyler Murray laughs it off a little bit, but then answers the question. This is exactly what Kyler Murray had to say when he was asked, can this be a trap game for the Cardinals?
Confident about not having this be a trap game?
Trap game? No, I don't. I'm very confident that it's not a trap game because that's not. Mentally we can't even. That could never be a thing because of where we are. You know what I mean? Like, our backs against the wall. We understand that. I think in order for it to be, a trap game, our record would have to be better. We'd have to be feeling, really, not humble or anything like that. But like, no, we understand what's at stake and we understand it's each week for us. So we got to go play our best on the road.
So, this is an interesting question, right? Do you think this could be potentially be a trap game, right? Now, I think the way that Kyler Murray now, and please keep in mind, this is all opinions, right? Your trap game, chat, it might be a different definition to my trap game, right? The way I look at it as a trap game, like what my trap game is, this could be a potential trap game, in my opinion, right? Now, like I said, Kyler Murray obviously explains as to why he doesn't feel like it can be because the Cardinals have their back against the wall. They're not a 10-win team. They're not a 12-win team. They're a 7-7. They're a 7-7. They're a 7-7 team that has everything to fight for, right? And they got the back against the wall. They know exactly what's ahead of them, right? But I still do think this could technically be labeled as a trap game. Truly. And here's the reason why. When I look at a trap game in general, that means to me that you got a team that's clearly better, rosterly, right? 53 roster is clearly better compared to a team that's not good, right? That's not good. And I don't want to be disrespectful to the Carolina Panthers, but I do see this as that. I really do. We just looked at the depth chart. We just looked at where they're ranking in defensively and offensively. I could definitely very well see this as a potential trap game, like if the Cardinals were to lose, right? Now, we're thinking positive juju, positive vibes here on there. I think it's a fair question, personally. I think it's one of those things that I understand where Kyler Murray is coming from because he's like, well, we got to be a 10-win team to be a trap game. I disagree. I disagree. Because although we can say to ourselves that we're locked in, we know what's in front of us, you can't let this game slip. You can't. If they do, of course, then we will be dealing with the repercussions after. But these are the games that you can't lose. You can't. I don't think it's a silly question personally. And I see you there, Ivan. That was a silly question. I don't think so. I think you have a team that's clearly better. And I'm not saying light years, right? Because there's different levels of teams, right? Different levels. You got your Super Bowl contending teams. You got your playoff teams. You got your teams that are mid to cusp, right? And then you got your, oh man, they suck. Man, they are not a good team. They're not a good team, regardless if you're scrappy or not. The Cardinals were a scrappy team last year, right? But were we good? I mean, I guess. I mean, if you want to hold on to moral victories, I guess so. But I feel like we got the Cardinals and the Panthers in clearly different levels. We're not Super Bowl. I mean, if you want to say we're playoffs, okay, that's fine. That's okay. But to me, I'm like right here, right? Our records are what we are, right? We're a mid team, right? 7-7, right? We're 500. With sniffing to the playoffs is a potential because you win 3 games, you're a 10-win team. You're no longer a 5-win team, right? And then you got the Panthers down here, different tiers. I think it's a good question, personally. I think the Arizona Cardinals need to look at this. And the reason why that was asked is not because it was random. It's because sometimes the Cardinals get caught slipping. That's why. That's why. That's why. Sometimes the Cardinals get caught slipping sometimes. So that was a good question. Do you think potentially this could be a trap game? Kyler says no. He thinks that you got to be a 10-win team for this to be a trap game. I disagree, but you win, it doesn't matter, right? You lose, then like I said, we pick up the pieces later and we try to figure out what happens from there, right? So there's that. Now, a couple other things I want to dive into. One thing was the unlocking of. Actually, no, let's do the details on Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Let's do that one first. Okay, let's talk about this next one about Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. and their connection. Let's dive into it.
You'll never know what it's like to be in a huddle with us.
Yeah.
All closest we ever get is like watching NFL films.
Yeah.
And every now and then somebody will run back and go, yo, I got his ass on the seam, toss me the seam, and then 3 plays later they'll show the guy hit the seam, it'll be a touchdown, and then they'll talk about it later. So we're just trying to figure out what are you guys dealing with out there that we can learn from, that we can relay to your fans. That said, what can you tell us about Marv that leads you to believe he can still be special? Because I think I see it, but what do you think?
I think it just goes back to, us finding ways to give him the rock, and what the best ways to do that, Obviously, he had a pretty good matchup this weekend with Christian. He's Christian's probably 6'2", 4'3" speed. Yeah, you might not be able to run by him. You know what I'm saying? So it's I think there's different ways for us to attack that. But again, I think that's obviously Marv's had a couple good matchups this year to be able to learn from against, some of the best in the league. So, again, with the combination of the game slowing down, him having the reps, obviously it's not about the ability of route running or catching the ball or getting in and out of breaks or anything like that. So I think, like I said, just the schematics of it and then just, him playing faster, feeling more comfortable, I think is, time is all.
And the reason why he says him playing faster is because in also this presser, right, this media session, he ends up admitting that Marvin told him that in week 1, the game was moving way too fast, right? It was just way too fast for him. It was just way too quick. Now, has it slowed down for him? Probably, right? Probably has. But the reason why we're talking about this over and over again, and it kind of comes with the territory, because if the Cardinals got, let's say, for example, an offensive lineman, the conversation wouldn't be, why aren't you getting the ball to your offensive lineman, right? Obviously, the reason why this conversation is being had is because you used a 4th overall pick on Marvin Harrison Jr. And although me, personally, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is actually having a pretty good season. I'm probably one of the few out there, right? Because although I can admit that there's flaws in the game of what Marvin Harrison Jr. has, I have all the faith in the world that he can actually make it and correct it and maybe put on weight, maybe be able to do those contested balls, right? Or contested catches, right? I do have the faith that he can. And statistically, he's got 7 touchdowns. I still do think he's leading the wide receiver or the rookie wide receiving class in wide receivers or touchdowns. Sorry. He's still leading the rookie wide receivers in touchdowns right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think right now Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the closest one with 6 the last time I looked. and that could probably be crushed this week because they're playing the Raiders. Well, the Cardinals are playing the Panthers, so we might be seeing in a world where he might not have that record anymore, right? But I still do think on par, he's having a pretty good season, personally, right? There was a couple, other players that I looked up. Obviously, Larry Fitzgerald didn't have 1,400 yards, 1,100 yards. No, it was 800, and I believe 5 to 6 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, right? I think DeAndre Hopkins had a really bad rookie year statistically, right? So, like, there's players out there that don't have good starts to their rookie career in terms of stats wise, but I don't know, man. Like, why this is such a talking point, I get it because the fourth overall pick, the coveted of it all. But I think at the end of the day, you know, it's I want them and need them to find this solution because obviously it's not found out yet. Like they still haven't figured it out because this next question it kind of coincides with it all. And I don't know if you noticed, but that media member earlier in that clip he was very specific, right? He was like, we're not the closest thing that we can get into the huddle is all 22 film, right? So I need you to explain and break it down to me in a sense to where we can start reporting to the fans as to why the connection isn't there, right? Or at least in your opinion, why the connection isn't there. I don't think we're ever going to get them to tell us why. I don't know if they know. Like I don't, because it's always the same answer. Now, I hope it's the same answer because they know and they're working on fixing it, right? That's the only thing that we can hope for, right? Because this last clip right here that we have, it all just kind of goes into the same situation where it's like, we're going to figure it out, right? We're going to figure it out. So let's dive into this last clip.
You mentioned explosive. What do you think you guys need to do to be able to unlock more of them? I'm not just talking about tomorrow, but in general, to unlock more of those explosives.
It's a good question. I don't really have an answer for you right now. He took it out of me. But I think we'll just we gotta continue to get better. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. We'll continue to get better. And whenever you hear, Drew Petzing, whenever they hear about this, it's always the reps. It's always we're not worried about this person. We're not, and I get it. Like if you say you're worried about somebody, then of course headlines start brewing up, right? So are they trying to prevent headlines from breaking the spirits of their young wide receiver or a potential connection between Kyler and Marvin? Probably, right? Probably. But it's just this is one of those things that's always going to be a biggest mystery out there, right? Because a question that I have maybe to the chat is it easier for a rookie quarterback to come into the NFL to have what seems like potentially an automatic connection between their wide receiver, or is it easier for and take Kyler Murray out of it, right? I'm talking about just in general, or is it easier for a veteran quarterback to have a young rookie wide receiver to get that connection? Like what technically should be quicker, right? Like what technically should be quicker? Because right now we're heading into week 16 and it almost kind of feels like we're just not going to get that answer. And if we are going to have some sort of roadblock like we talked about on yesterday's video, right? This is still a roadblock. This offense, these explosive passing attack is still going to be the roadblock for the Cardinals. And I fear that we're going to be talking about this in 2 weeks if something crazy happens. Now, if one day it clicks and it figures out, then hallelujah, we're back, baby. Because that's the one piece that's missing on this team. It's the explosives, the explosive plays that can be had between your QB and your wide receivers. Not wide receiver, wide receivers, plural, right? Because we're all talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's supposed to be wide receiver 1, and he was taken with the 4th overall pick. But let's call it like it is. It's not just a problem with Marvin and Kyler. It's kind of a problem with quarterback and the rest of the wide receivers, right? Or offensive scheme with the rest of the wide receivers, right? Whatever you want to use or whatever you want to put the blame on, if it's Drew Petzing or, my main thing is I need to address this. I need to figure this out, or I want to at least have somebody figure this out, and they just haven't. So it's a little concerning. It really is. It's a little concerning here because week after week after week after week have we been hearing that we're going to have to get better and we're going to have to figure it out. Okay, great. That's awesome. So glad you guys are right there. You guys are acknowledging the fact that there is an issue, but the problem is that is not being fixed, right? That's the problem, right? And I'm not sure if you noticed, let's run this last clip back again. I think what Kyler Murray says is that when he tries to answer, he was like, "I don't have an answer for you because he took it out of me." I think he was talking to the last guy, which we also have the clip about that one as well. But let's run it back real quick.
You mentioned explosive. What do you think you guys need to do to be able to unlock more of them? I'm not just talking about tomorrow, but in general, to unlock more of those explosives.
It's a good question. You know, I don't really have an answer for you right now. He took it out of me. But I think we'll just we got to continue to get better. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll continue to get better, right? So I guess the question to you, like, what do you see has worked better in the NFL, right? In your own eyes, right? What have you seen that works better? Rookie quarterback coming into the NFL and having a veteran wide receiver, and boom, connection is right there, right? And I'm not saying 2,000 yards, right? But I'm also saying maybe at the end of the year, you're having a 1,000-yard wide receiver on your hands, right? Or maybe a 900-yard wide receiver in your hands. Because right now we got 3 games. Is it still attainable? Can Marvin go for 100, 100, and 150 and potentially hit that 900 mark? Yeah, potentially, right? Yeah, he can do it. He can do it. It's just what we're seeing and what we're hearing. It's almost kind of hard to think that this resolution is going to come in this 2024 season, right? Or do you think it's easier for a veteran quarterback to having a rookie wide receiver, and he should be getting that connection down quicker, right? It's so hard to answer this, right? Because to me, I look at this team and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just freaking confused. I'm confused. I'm as confused as everybody else is, right? And that's one of the main reasons why everybody's being asked the same question. Now, I think we can both sit back and probably say that both of these guys are not alpha males, right? And I don't know them personally, right? I don't know any of them personally. I can only go based off of what we've seen on, these press conferences, these press passes, and like all these little interviews that you hear here and there. They don't really seem to be, and I'm not trying to knock saying, oh, they're not. No, what I'm saying is, I don't think either of these two guys are. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that about Kyler now thinking about it because of he yelling at Cliff, but you don't see him yelling at Jonathan. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. will go up to Kyler and say, "Where's my receptions?" Right? Why isn't the ball coming my way? Right? Maybe he still does feel like he's a rookie. Right? Maybe that's why it hasn't been resolved. Maybe internally there is frustrations because I think also in this press conference, I'm not sure if you caught it. I could have sworn Kyler Murray said that there might be some frustrations, right? And it's right, and that happens, right? It happens. If you're not getting the ball thrown your way, or if your ball is going thrown your way and you're just not getting it, whether it's the ball or you had it in your hand and it gets stripped out of your hand, or just the game is not going your way because the cornerback is really good and the coverage is really good, right? Frustration could be leading to anything, right? It's not just frustration between connection between your QB and wide receiver. It's, hey, the ball's not coming, it's not working today for me, right? That could also lead to frustration. So it's, I don't know, it's so hard to pinpoint, right? But that is what's going to stop the Cardinals from becoming potentially a team that can make it deep into playoffs, right? Or maybe even just win a playoff game. Because when you're sitting face to face with a team that can throw the ball and run the ball as efficiently as the Cardinals can, and I mean run the ball, not throw the ball, you could be a very, very deadly team offensively. Believe it or not, this defense, with the exception of probably 3, maybe 4 games, the defense has done enough to help you win games, right? Whether it's providing 3 or 4 tackles, 3 or 4 sacks, causing a turnover or 2, right? They've done enough. They've done enough. They're not shut down. Have they done it? We've seen it in the second half. We also seen this defense, prevent touchdowns as well in a game or the second half, right? We've seen it. So I think this defense has done enough. It's the offense right now that everybody is looking around and trying to find a solution or trying to find an answer as to what the heck is truly going on here, right? So I would love to see the crystal ball shake it up and say, give us the answer, figure it out, what's happening. I don't know. It just keeps going back to, Kyler Murray saying that we'll get it corrected. We'll figure it out. I mean, we might be seeing the figure out final polish in 2025 because right now we're in week 16 and this is a favorable matchup too. We might see JC Horn, right? We might see JC Horn shadow Marv, but JC Horn I don't think is in the level of Christian Gonzalez, right? Christian Gonzalez is a really good young rookie, not a rookie, I'm sorry. A good young stud at cornerback. A reason why he doesn't get very much love is because he plays for the Patriots, right? Just like Patrick Peterson, right? When he was in his year 2 and he started to show some flashes of like, man, this guy could be really, really good. When the Cardinals started to win, that's when Patrick Peterson really got his more of a superstardom, right? Kind of same thing with probably is going to happen with Christian Gonzalez as well. So we got a pretty favorable matchup, and then we got the Rams, which we absolutely obliterated, and Marvin had his best game against the Rams through the air, but again, they were an injured Rams team, so there's that. And then you got and then you got the 49ers to end the season. So we got 3 games to try to figure this whole situation out. Now, I was asked, do you think the Cardinals should go after a wide receiver this offseason? I mean, if they feel like this whole separation thing that other people feel like is happening, then okay, I guess. I mean, I guess, sure. I mean, whether that's going to be a first rounder. Now, please keep in mind that if you go after a wide receiver in the first round, you better bet your bottom dollar that all that money should probably go to your defensive side of the ball, either your edge or your defensive line. But I think anything's on the table right now. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, right? There's a few wide receivers that I feel like can flourish very, very well in the slot. Very, very well. As a rookie. I like Greg Dortch. I really do. I don't know about him. I don't know about what's his least production either, right? Because the same thing goes to Michael Wilson. So it's a wide receiving issue. It's not just Marvin. Marvin just gets highlighted because he's a rookie. People expected him to be Brian Thomas Jr. numbers right now, and I don't blame you, right? The expectation, what we knew or what we saw about him, we all kind of thought that that's what he was going to be too. So don't blame you guys there. So right now with where things are standing, the Cardinals have a lot of question marks on the offensive side of the ball, and nothing's really kind of changed too much. It's kind of one and the same. So Ivan in the chat says T. Higgins. Hey, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I've liked T. Higgins for a very, very long time. Wouldn't mind him one bit. I mean, if they do get T. Higgins, I mean, you probably got the ability to move him around. Be a solid wide receiver. I mean, I think he would just be solid wide receiver too. It's just he does have injury concerns, right? You're going to have to pay him. So would you rather go T. Higgins and get a guy that you know can do it, had some injury concerns here and there, but former first rounder, or would you have the Cardinals use a first round pick, right? Big question out there. Because let's call it like it is. Zay Jones right now, like I said, it's hard to say they're not it. It's hard to say it because it's base of opportunity, right? Either the ball gets thrown to you or snap count. So it's hard for me to say Zay Jones ain't it. It's hard for me to say Greg Dortch ain't it. But right now, if that is going to be the thing that this offensive coordinator feels, that there's no separation amongst the rest of the guys or this wide receiving core, then go out there and get yourself a wide receiver, right? I like Michael Wilson. I think Michael Wilson's pretty darn solid, but obviously T. Higgins is better, but you know what I mean? Maybe you can get another guy, though. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at the end of the day. I wouldn't be mad at the end of the day. Richie in the chat says, Greg Dortch got to get... I mean, well, he's got 3 games to do it. He's got 3 games to do it. We'll see what happens. He had a really good game this last game. What I would just want to say, I want to see more wide receiving numbers get better. Like that's what I would want to see, right? That's what I would love to see. Michael in the chat says, I hope they get a, you mean like a backup one, right? Like somebody not tune? Is what you're saying? I mean, I hope that's what you're saying. Because if you think that Kyler's getting, it's the same thing that I've been saying about Petsing. For the people out there that want Petsing gone, I don't think it's going to happen. For the people out there saying that they want Kyle, I don't think it's going to happen either. So, like I said, unless something completely happens, like a downfall in these next 3 games, then that could potentially be different. But right now, if the Cardinals win 8 games, if they finish strong with these next 2 games, the last 2 games, they're in it, then they might not move off of, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the wide receivers. I think the only position right now that I'm like, dang, we are set. Right now, we're set. Okay, let me tell you. Let's do this, chat. You participate. Go participate with me in the chat. What is 3 positions? 3 positions right now that you're saying we are set. These 3 positions right here are going to be locked in for 3. No, let's just say 2 years. 2, just say 2, not 3. 2 years, we are locked in. We know our guys. These positions are set right now. What are those 3 positions? Sorry. Yeah, 3 positions for 2 years. Dyslexia's beating me. What are those 3 positions right now? And you could say offensively, defensively, it doesn't matter to me. Offensively, defensively, it doesn't matter to me. Right now. 3 positions in the next 2 years that you're saying to yourself, we are set right now. We're good. We're good. We're good. I'm going with my guy Gustavo here because this is me. This is me. This is it. This is me too. Safety, running back, if James Conner can stay healthy, right? That's the stipulation there. And tight end. Boom. Bang. I agree. The reason why I highlight you is because I agree. Tight end, running back, Ray Waterboy. Dang, well, that Waterboy got to get it. That Waterboy better get an extension then. If he's doing that good, man, got to get an extension then. But I highlighted you, Gustavo, because I agree with you. King J-Rock, running back, safety. Now, you're probably not saying tight end, maybe because he's not extended. I'll give you that, King J-Rock. Oh, there you go. You put tight end there. Yes. Then yeah. That's the only positions I feel like I am. Boom. Let's go right there. This is set. Now, I want to address this one. Ivan, appreciate the comment. Great comment. Love Mac Wilson Sr. But Kazir White, contract year, right? Contract year. So this tells me I don't know if we're set there yet because Kazir White needs to get extended, right? This is his last year for the Cardinals. Can he get an extension? Yes, he can. If he does get an extension, then yes, he's very, very notable to put him on my list there. But right now with the middle linebacking core, I think they're dogs. I think they're great. Great duo. It's just we don't know what's going to happen with Kazir, right? And technically, we have Trey McBride for another year, right? Not this year. We got him for 2025. I'm just saying if you want to get in front of it, extend him now so you can save a little bit of money, right? I don't think I've seen anybody here in this list. Anybody in this list, I'm going back right now. I'm not seeing anybody in this list saying QB. Oh, okay. No, I apologize. I got one QB here. There you go. There you go. Evil says running back, quarterback, and tight end. Wow. Okay. Is there any other quarterback here? Let me go up a little bit. No, that might be the only quarterback that I see. I don't see quarterback anywhere else other than there. Yeah. Okay. Well, evil. Okay. Well, to me, the 3 positions right now that I feel like are locked. Safety, Buddha, we got him for a bit. Jalen Thompson signed for 1 more year, right? So I know I get the reason why, like, even if we don't bring back Jalen after the 2025 season, I like what I've seen from Dadrian, right? So that's why I'm putting the safety there. I like the safety role, right? Tight end, Trey McBride, we got him to 2025. Technically, I know the Cardinals are going to sign him. I just don't know when. At least I hope they do. Jonathan Gannon came out and said that's the reason why he's going to make his money. Well, let's show it. Let's see it now, right? So then you got the tight end group and then the running back because you got James Conner for also an extension as well. So if James Conner can stay healthy, those are the top 3 confident groups that I got heading into 2025. A lot of unknown. A lot of unknown. A lot of unknown right now. But it just kind of goes into one of those situations that, like, you know, that's football, and then that's what makes a football season very, very exciting, right? So makes football very, very exciting. So, Mr. Fat Gangster in the chat says, if Kyler had a backup, he'd be there too. It's fair. Congrats on the 6th. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. We're all feeling K1. I don't know, just some of those bad interceptions, bro. I mean, time will tell. That's all I can say right now. I don't want to get too much involved into it anymore, but time will tell. Quarterback, because Tune is the backup. That's fair. Let's see here. Trey and Brock Bowers are going to be the new Kittle. Yeah, maybe. Heck yeah. And thankfully, we got ourselves one of those top tight ends with Trey McBride, right? Thankfully, man. Thankfully, because this man's a beast, bro. This man's a beast. There's no... It's great. I like our cornerbacks. I really do. I think our cornerbacks show promise, but you also got to think about the other side of the coin, right? Garrett Williams right now is that guy for me, right? Garrett Williams is that guy for me. Sean Murphy-Bunting, veteran. Don't know if he's going to be here past the 2025 season. We don't know. Starling Thomas, I like him. I like his intangible. I like what he does. And then Max Melton, rookie. So I still want to see him develop a little bit more. So there's still a little bit unknown on there. Although I like him. I got the potential. I see the potential. There's still a little unknown when it comes down to our cornerback core, right? Defensive line, when healthy, let's see what they can do, right? Offensive line, pretty solid, right? Pretty solid, but I'm not like, we don't need an upgrade. If we get an upgrade, then we're cool. We're groovy. We're good, right? It's one of those situations, right? Those are the 3 positions right now that I can solidly say to myself that I'm confident in the next 2 years. Tight end, safety, running back, if James Conner can stay healthy. So, yeah. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. Now, I want to do a real quick announcement, ladies and gentlemen. We will be doing a channel member live stream. Let me run that back. We will be doing a channel member roundtable live stream on Monday. I believe I said Monday. Let me just correct myself if I'm wrong here. And that what that entails is basically, if you're a channel member here of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, I do communicate you guys with community posts. If you don't know what that is, basically it's a tab on my channel called Posts or Community. Check it out if you want to. But yes, December 23rd, 7 p.m. AZ time on Monday. It's going to be channel members exclusively, but you will be able to see it if you are just a subscriber. That's fine. But the participants will be channel members. So for the guys that want to come on here, we will be doing a live roundtable format. What does that mean? That means that I will be hosting everybody here. It's a time for me to ask you guys questions, how you feeling about the Arizona Cardinals, and everybody will get a chance to chop it up, but we will get a lot of different opinions, and honestly, it's a really, really good time, kind of chop it up. I want to do a lot more of these, and I was supposed to, and I just completely shot through my mind, but make sure you check that out. It's going to be actually really, really cool to hear everybody's difference of opinion. Super, super excited about that, but yes, that's going to be on Monday, December 23rd, 7 p.m. AZ time, channel member Arizona Cardinals roundtable. Super, super excited about that. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop. We are hitting the hour mark right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for, obviously getting involved in the conversation. Huge shout out here to BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sportsbook, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got a very, very big game coming our way because that's just the start as to can we go 2-0 after that terrible 0-3 start after the bye week. We'll find out here within the next 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Cardinals versus Panthers within 3 days from now. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.